All right, y'all may lower your hands. At this point, Ms. Sadler, I have a few questions for you. Could you state your full name, please, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, I was raising my hand earlier because you were talking too fast. I'm hearing impaired, and I was just making sure I can hear everything you say because I want to make sure I hear everything. I want to be able to read your lips. I want to be able to understand everything you say.
Okay, so you're reading lips, so I will do my best. So let me know. Ask me to repeat if there's something that you don't understand.
Yeah, you was talking fast earlier.
I know.
Everything I was like,
you get to testify first. He will be able to ask you some questions through me when you are done, and then it will switch, and he will have a chance to present evidence and testimony, and you will be able to ask questions through me to him if you wish. Okay. So, ma'am, how do you know Mr. Hall?
You talking to me, right?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Hall is the father of my last two children. That's how I know Mr. Hall.
All right. And has there been a final legitimation order in this case involving the children?
How did he file the legitimation order?
Has there been a final order in the legitimation case at this point?
No, the judge ordered liaisons to come to both of our houses so he could find more information because the judge didn't. He said he just said he wanted more information. So
it's still ongoing.
Yes, we have a court date on October 9th here in Walton County. Okay.
How long have you known Mr. Hall?
I have known Mr. Hall at least. I know him because I grew up with him in Louisiana, but we've been together in the past. My youngest daughter is 5 years, so I know it's over there about 10 years. You know, in the time frame of a relationship or us trying to work out this whatever. But at this point, it's just for me, it's null and void because Mr. Hall, he always want to fight me, and he tried to say like when I get mad, but he's the kind of person that I can't because he like to kick the kids and he going on high-speed chases, calling the police on me, and because he can't have his way. He's very narcissistic, if you know what I mean. And I just, in my dealings with him, I can't cope with him. He just, I tried it for so long. I tried, to make this work, where we could, but it's always him putting his hands on me, being abusive, trying to control the situation. And that's not the way you supposed to be with somebody you call the other parent. And it's for me, it's not working. Last time, when was it? A few months ago, somebody shot out here. And I knew it was a few days after I did that child support. And then somebody from the Walton County Children's, Walton County Department of Children Family called me saying somebody they was worried because somebody shot outside my house, and then they were talking about men all in my house and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, nah, I know that's him doing stuff.
Because so I know you suspect that that's him, but what is a recent act of family violence or things you've outlined in your petition that have concerned you?
Him and his girlfriend coming to my house, trying knocking on my door, knocking on my window, messing with my plants outside. I mean, he just moved from the state of Louisiana. Ever since he moved here, he just been messing with me. Ever since he moved here from the state of Louisiana, he just did it the first of the year. So I don't feel no peace around me.
Let me ask this: have you told him to not come to your house?
Yes, I have.
So when did you tell him that last?
So many times. Look, when he first started coming to my house, like I said, he just moved here like the first of the year or something like that. I'm not sure when he moved here. But he started coming over my house unannounced. And at that time, I'm not even sure if he had my number or whatever, but he can get in contact with people around me. And he
So when's the last
knocking on.
time? When's the last time he came to your home unannounced?
He haven't came in a while because I had the TPO in effect.
Before you filed.
Every month, I've been doing the TPO to keep him from here. But before I filed, he used to do that in Louisiana because I was staying in Louisiana too. He come up in my house, throwing food all on my wall because he can't have his way, trying to like bully me. That's all he ever did, was trying to bully me because he feel like I'm weak. Maybe because I'm hearing impaired or whatever, but I don't know. I just don't want him around me because he ain't doing nothing but causing harm and more.
So what you allege in your petition an incident on April 23rd?
Say that again.
You allege in your petition an incident on April 23rd when you called the police. Can you tell me what that involves?
April 23rd. Was that when he bought them Easter basket? And
I'm asking you. I'm asking you, ma'am.
You said April 23rd.
Have you called? I'm just going from your petition. Have you called the police at any point this year?
Yes, I have. I did.
Okay. Tell me why.
He came here, the time that I called the police, he took off before the police got there. And the police got there, it was too late. And those are the times I didn't have a TPO.
So tell me what happened. So tell me what happened and why you called the police at that time.
He came to my house, knocking on my door. That's the day I had bought some plants from Lowe's, and my plants was all over the house. Cause he mad, cause he can't get in. The kids was in here scared. That was like, who is that? He come knocking on my door like the police. And then once he finished, he sent his girlfriend Ashley. She came over here bumping on my door, talking about, I know y'all in there trying to get us to open the door. But we didn't want to have nothing to do with him after the incident that happened in Louisiana. Where he wouldn't give me my kids back.
What happened in Louisiana?
It was he didn't want to give me my children back. Like I let them stay with him for the summer, and he didn't want to. He fighting, and he called the police on me, and they put me out of his house because he felt like I was getting loud or something, but I wasn't. I was just concerned about the children. Like one of Ashley's children it was a boy. He went in the bathroom with my youngest daughter, and the children told me about that, and I was like, I want to talk about it, but he was getting all loud and stuff, and it's like every time we can't talk and we can't be cordial with each other like cordial adults. It's like he always want to hit me or fight, or he got this aggression. Like he don't even get along with his mama and his grandma or none of the women in his family.
When, if any, is the last time that he threatened or physically harmed you?
That was when I was pregnant. When I was pregnant with Brianna, this is what's vivid in my mind. When I was pregnant with Brianna, he was trying to take my tax money, and he actually punched me down in the grass, and he took my money, and I wasn't able to get my money back. He stabbed me in the hand with a knife.
Where were you when that happened?
When did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
This happened in Louisiana.
Excuse me. Mr. Hall, can you please stop shaking your head?
I can't see your face.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead, ma'am. When
This happened in Louisiana when me and Mr. Howard was still together. I was pregnant with Brianna. He beat me. He chased me out the house and beat me to the ground. And people was looking out the window. They didn't say nothing. They weren't trying to help. I had to call the police afterward once I got up. Can you imagine being pregnant over some money? They're not the only time. Like,
where were you when you say he stabbed you in the hand?
We was in the house, and he was trying to stop me from leaving. because this is when I was living with him in Louisiana. He had 2 deadbolts on his door, and the only way to open them is with a key. And I was trying to get out the house because I wanted to leave. I wanted to be finished with this relationship. And he stabbed me in my hand. He tried to keep me from leaving.
What did he stab you with?
Say that again. I didn't see your mouth. He went down.
What did he stab you with?
A knife. It was a pocket knife, like the kind that you buy from the store that you pull up like that. It was a pocket knife.
Where was your hand at when he stabbed you?
On the door, trying to get out the door, trying to get the keys to get out the door. And he also had a window, and I couldn't, like try to get out there because it was closed. But it was like some kind of window, and it was closed. It had a lock. But, it was a few times when I tried to leave, he just wanted to lock me in the house. And I felt like I couldn't escape because I had a child. I had to have the money. And the only places I really had to go was come back here to Georgia to my family. So now he down here calling all this heck, and it's hard because I got the kids. I'm doing everything with them. And then he causing me more pain, triggering me, coming here messing with me. He don't even have his other kids because he do the same kind of stuff with them. Like, leave me alone.
So let me, do you still have any visible injuries from when you were stabbed?
No, I don't have any injuries healed. Like, I don't have any visible injuries now, no.
All right. Have you ever sought medical treatment for anything involving? Have you ever sought medical treatment for any injuries or anything, any assault?
No.
How many times this year has he come to your home uninvited?
How many times? Oh, probably about 4 or 5 before I started getting this thing. He came with an Easter basket. He come with his girlfriend. They come knocking on my.
But when you say he came with the Easter basket, what happened that time?
Oh, he came knocking on the door and left the Easter basket at the door. It was on Easter.
Did he say anything or do anything?
No, because I didn't open the door.
When he has come other times, you said 5 times. When he has come, has he said anything?
The last time he came, he told me he'll see me in court. He came over here beating on the door. He said, I'll see you in court. And that's when he started came over here to Wofford County and did the legitimization with the courts and stuff.
Did he say why he was there?
Did he say why,
Why he was there?
No. I mean, I guess he want to see the kids or whatever, but he basically, the only thing I heard was, like I said, I'm hearing it. The only thing I heard was, I'll see you in court.
How long was he at your door?
He don't stay long because he knows that if I call the police, they'll come. But he just one time he used to come and park his car in front of my car, my car, and then he would park behind. I guess because he didn't want me to see his tag or what kind of car he got. And then he was parking behind this building next to mine. He was parking behind it, but he used to park in front of it. But then he got kind of cunning parking behind it.
So how many times have you seen him parked at that spot?
Probably about 3 times, because he came here. He came here with his girlfriend a couple of times. Probably about 3 times. That's when they was parking close to my apartment. And then
what are they doing? What are they doing when they're parked there?
What do you mean? They just come to my apartment and start knocking on the door. Sometimes they knock on the window. Sometimes they knock on the kids' window. And so I got a window right here in the living room, and I got the door, and they be bumping on it like the police.
And so they're banging hard on the door?
Yeah, they knock hard on the door. I can hear that.
And what are
And
they
the children
saying?
could, it scares the children.
What are they saying?
Let me in here. I know you hear me. Stuff like that. Let me see my kids. Stuff like that.
Okay.
I mean, they show up unannounced. You never know when they're gonna come. And then he know he don't want to get in trouble. So he'll leave. He'll like run away. That ain't the first time he did. I was trying to.
What have you had any? Have you had any communications from him by phone, text, email?
We used to have a lot of conversation by messenger on Facebook, but I had to block him. And a lot of times I block him out, erase it, because the stuff he be saying is hurtful. You know, I flash out on you, and he just say a lot of hateful stuff, and it's very triggering to me.
You said, so, you said one of the messages was, I'll flash out on you.
Yeah, he'll flash out on me, like he'll beat me up or go crazy. This man even told me he'll call his cousin, put me in the car and get rid of me.
When did he say that?
He said that when I was in Louisiana. He used to live in these apartments on South 4th Street or somewhere. And me and him I was leaving.
When did you block him on Facebook?
Oh, he been blocked for a while. I can't even remember, ma'am. I can look on Facebook and try to see. But, you know, I keep it blocked because I don't want, have nothing with a narcissist like he is. I just, going no contact is better for me.
Have you told him that?
Huh?
Did you tell him that at some point?
No, but he knows. Like, I always, like, I used to try to talk to him and tell him stuff, but he won't never listen. Like, he want to control and do whatever he want to do. He just want to have everything his way. Of course, I try to tell him that many times. Like, stay away from me. Leave me alone. Of course I have.
When they come over,
how many times, huh?
When they have come to your house, what have you told them anything?
Who?
When he comes to your house unannounced.
Do I tell who anything? The children?
No, him, the respondent, when he's knocking on the door.
Yes. I told him, leave my house. I told him don't show up at my house.
Okay.
But he did it anyway. And the last time he said, I'll see you in court, he think he could force his way on me. Like, that's how he always been in the past. That's forceful. He think he can do anything he want to do. In my life, to me.
Okay. Anything else you want? Are you asking the court to extend this order as it pertains to you for 12 months?
Please. That's what I'm asking the court to do, extend this order, keep it active. Whatever I have to do.
Are you in fear for your safety when he shows up at your residence?
Yes, I am. I very much am. I feel like I can't protect me or my children.
Has he shown up at your residence since you have been filing for these petitions?
No. I only seen him in court for the legitimization.
Okay, so, sir, at this point, you are able to ask any specific questions, if you have any, knowing that you also have a chance to testify yourself, but ask any questions of her through me, if you have any about what she has testified to.
No, I don't have
any.
No, ma'am, this is for, I'm talking to him. Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. My first question is, when I only been to the house one time. One time I moved in.
No, you haven't.
One time.
Ma'am, there's no responding. You'll have a chance to follow up since you bear the burden when he's done, but he gets to ask a question. So, sir, on the same vein, this is not your time to tell me your side of things. This is the time to ask specific questions to her through me. You will have a chance to tell me your side of things when it is your turn to testify.
Well, ask her, when I came to her house on Easter, didn't her boyfriend come to the door? She said nobody came to the door, but her boyfriend came to the door.
All right, ma'am,
Yes, I'm here.
when he came to your house on Easter, did your boyfriend go to the door?
Yeah, he probably could come to the door.
Okay. All right. Next question.
I really don't have no more questions. I just want to tell my side of the story.
All right. So, sir, at this point, you can tell me you've heard the allegations she's made. I have to decide by a preponderance of the evidence. This is a much lower standard than criminal court. If there have been any past acts of family violence of any kind, there only has to be one. And if there is a reasonable likelihood of future acts without this order being in place. So tell me what you would like me to know about the allegations that have been made.
Okay. So the allegation that she made about the situations in Louisiana, like she was staying with me in Louisiana. And that was like what, 5-6 years ago. And she would call the police on me when she get mad. And the police told me, look, you need to get this girl out your house because she can say anything and put you in jail. So one incident happened when this girl that she was staying with had bed bugs. And my daughter, you know, she had my daughter, and I was like, let my daughter stay here because she's a baby and she don't need to get bitten by bed bugs. So they came over there tripping, and the girl, her friend, punched a hole in my door, and I called the police and sent her friend to jail. So the next day, they came back to my house, and she got the car, you know, with a pipe and stuff, and then she lied and told the police I put my hands on it, which they took me to jail. But as we went to court, they dismissed the charges because she didn't have no bruises on her or nothing. Like the only reason why she came back is because I sent her friend to jail, and her motive was to send me to jail. So I had to really get her, you know, out of my house because of the cause that she was really everything that she was taking me through. And she has been keeping my kids away from me, you know, just to be mean to me. But I moved here in March, and I only been to her house one time since I've been here in March, and that was to give my kids the Easter basket. And she said I left the Easter basket at the door, which that is a lie. Her boyfriend came to answer the door when I knocked on the door. When her boyfriend answered the door, I said, may I speak to Brianna and Bryson? And he called them, and they came to the front. So he stood at the door while I was talking to him. And I say, you know, are y'all okay? You know, and my daughter was like, Daddy, I miss you. You know, I've been thinking about you. And I knew I couldn't stay very long because she was trying to be argumentative and stuff with me, and I wasn't trying to talk to her. And also my dad was on the phone, so he was listening to the whole thing. And my dad was like, look, just do not respond. Don't respond to her. You know, just go and see the kids. And I let my dad say hey to the girls while he was on the phone. And like I said, I stayed there like 10 minutes. The boyfriend stayed right there at the door while I was talking to my children. So I hugged him and kissed him and told him I love him. As I'm walking off, her boyfriend was like, hey, youngster, hold up. Wait a minute. So he came to the street. He was like, hey, man. He was like, I'm going to talk to her to see if she will let you see your children. So 2 weeks later, I think 2 or 3 weeks later, her boyfriend calls me on the phone, and I got him recorded everything that he was saying.
Okay, hold on. The boyfriend's not here to testify unless you have him here to testify. So I can't really hear. You've already said some stuff, but now we're getting far afield. Just tell me what happened 2 weeks later without talking about a conversation you had with someone who's not here.
Well, I only been to her house one time since I've been to Georgia, and that was in March. And all these accusations that she have on this paper is not true. I have not tried to harm her. I do not contact her. I do not threaten her. Like, Your Honor, I have a lot going for myself than to sit there and try to start something with somebody that I know is going to try to, you know, do things to me to hurt me. My only objective is to go through the legitimation to see my children, to have that time with my kids, because I'm at this point where I do need time with my daughters. Like I truly do. I'm a father that just wants to have time with my children. I don't want to be bothered with her. And she's continued put these false accusations on me, and it's not right. And I can actually take a lot of detective tests.
So, sir, we're not doing that. It sounds like you were arrested at one point, which meant there was probable cause at one point for something in Louisiana. I'm not making the call about whether you're criminally guilty of anything. I'm just deciding if there's a preponderance of the evidence that acts of family violence have been committed, and if there's a reasonable likelihood they've been committed in the future.
Well, it was dismissed, so it wasn't something I was charged with. So I never been charged with anything on her.
I thought you said you were arrested.
But I was the charge was dismissed.
I understand you're not convicted, but you were arrested. That's what I heard. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm not saying that you were convicted. You said the charges were dismissed.
Yeah, because she lied on me. That's why they dismissed it.
Okay, that's what yes, I understand that's what you're saying. Oh, okay. So hold on. So you said that she was in an argument. There was an argument happening. she was trying to argue with you when you were there at Easter? What was she saying?
Talking about, you know, you don't treat me right. So how you think I'm gonna let you get my kids? And I know you came over here and did this. And I said, Triana, I haven't did anything. I said, I ain't touched nothing. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then the situation on this paper, it had something about me going over there shooting. Like, why I look like going over there shooting with my children in the house? I'm not going to do nothing to harm my kids. Like, that's not even what type of person that I am.
Let me ask this.
Can I say something?
You will. No, you're going to be able to ask a question in a second. I just have one more question I want to ask. Did she tell you she did not want you to come to the house?
No, she never told me that because I only been over there one time. I only been over there one time, ma'am. One time. I've been over her house one time since I've been here. And that was when I went and took those Easter baskets. That was the...
Ma'am, please stop. Please stop. That doesn't make me believe or disbelieve anybody anymore. Okay. All right. Sir, you say your testimony is you've only been there once. Did she ask you to leave when you were there?
No, she did not, because I only was there 10 minutes. And her boyfriend was standing at the door and he let me talk to my children. He actually stayed right there at the door. And as I was talking to my kids, she was actually trying to go back and forth with me. But like I said, my dad was on the phone. He was telling me, look, don't go back and forth with her. You know, just see the children and leave.
So did she not want you to see the children at her house on that day?
She didn't say I couldn't see him that day because the boyfriend had already called him to the front before she came to the front. So
well, how did you know? I mean, so you just showed up?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Where did you park?
I parked right there behind her van in front of the house.
All right. So ma'am, this is your chance to ask any specific questions you have about his response and what he's testified to. So you can ask them to me and I will ask them of him.
Ma'am, he showed up way more than...
No, this is not the time to testify. This is the time to ask question about what he testified to. So you have to make it a question to him for me to ask him. Do you have any questions you want me to ask him?
So if he only showed up one time, he knows that Ashley came with him. So it had to be more. He's talking about Easter. Ashley wasn't even with him on Easter. So Ashley have been there.
So she's saying you came. Okay, so her question is, if you've only come there one time, but Ashley was there one time and Ashley was not with you on Easter, then how have you only been at her residence one time?
Well, Ashley wasn't even staying here on Easter. Ashley moved here in May because I moved here first because Ashley didn't find her a place until May. So I was here by myself. So yes, I was by myself on Easter.
No, the question she asked is, Ashley accompanied you one of these times. She heard both of your voices. If you've only been there one time, then and Ashley was not there on Easter, then what time was it that you and Ashley were at her house?
Ashley didn't come with me. Ashley came by herself. The last time when Ashley moved to Georgia, Ashley said, I want to check on the girls. And this is what I told Ashley. And watch, when Ashley gets on the witness, she's going to tell you this. Ashley said, well, I'm going to go. I said, I'm not going over to the girl house. I said, because Ashley, I know how she is. And if I go over there, you know she's going to trip on me. You know she's going to try to do something to get me in trouble because I know how she is. So Ashley said, okay, Ashley and her nephew went over there to check on the girls. And Ashley did say that she went over there and she was knocking hard. And Ashley said when she was about to drive out, the security man came to her door. So that wasn't even me that was at her house that time. That was Ashley. Ashley was trying to check on the girl. So Ashley told me that when she was driving out, the security person or the police or whoever was coming to the door. So she actually mistaken when Ashley came for me, but I refused to go over there after that one time.
Stop. Go ahead. Let him finish.
I refused to go over there after that one time. And Your Honor, I'm going to be honest with you. The only reason why she's doing this is because I legitimize my children.
Okay, hold on. I'm not going to. Hold on. Stop. So it sounds like there was a child support action filed, then a legitimation action, or was the legitimation action filed first?
It was the legitimation action filed first because I was taken off child support in Louisiana just before I left. So I've been on child support, but they just dropped the child support because I had the kids, and she was trying to get more money for child support while I had the kids because she gave me.
Okay, well, child support's not going to be decided here because there's no final legitimation order. I understand you're saying that's her motive. I still have to find if there's been a preponderance of the evidence was presented to me of a single act of family violence in the past and whether there's a reasonable likelihood of future acts at this time. And this is a temporary order. Legitimation is going to determine long-term things. I'm just trying to prevent violence at this time if the evidence is submitted to me that is appropriate. So if you said you were not going to go back over to that house, why were you not going back over to that house?
Because she was trying to argue with me the last time when I went over there for Easter, and I didn't. I'm trying my best to stay out of her way because I know how she is, Your Honor. She just like to call the police on me for nothing, and it's like I don't understand why she trying to mess my life up. She is like I got too much going on in my life to sit there and let somebody mess my life up.
Okay, but your testimony, she did not tell you she did not want you there when you were there.
No,
and her
ma'am.
boyfriend answered the door.
No, ma'am. The only thing what I got was this protective order. And I'm like, I didn't even know this was coming, but her boyfriend told me that, oh, I can't tell you what he said. Okay.
Okay, so tell me this. Did she block you on Facebook?
She used to block me all the time when she get mad. That's just something she do. I block her. She block me. We go back and forth with blocking each other.
So what's the last conversation you had with her before you showed up at her house on Easter?
It was a while because we really don't talk. We really don't. But I actually came to the house on Easter really to see my kids do a wellness check on my children because I'm actually worried about my girls. I truly am because she does have different men around them. And you know,
okay, so this
girls.
is not this place for that. As you know, since you have filed a legitimation order in Georgia, you currently have no rights to that child unless and until there is an order entered. And I am not, that sort of custody is not before me because there is no legal rights with you at this point. That'll be addressed in the legitimation case.
Yes,
So if you had not had any communications with her, why did you show up at her house?
to actually see my daughters. That's why, and to get them their Easter basket. That's all the reason why I came, really mainly because I really want to see my daughters.
So let me ask you this. Why did y'all not have communication over those before? You said y'all don't communicate. Why not?
Because when she came, she gave me temporary custody. And
no, I didn't. Can I clear that up?
Not yet.
I got the paper. I got the paper and the evidence that I signed or her giving me temporary custody. It's a paper.
Go ahead.
So I had temporary custody of the girls. You know, I had them in school and everything. And she actually came down there. She came to my house. When she said I called the police on her, she came to my house, jumping in my face, trying to fight me and stuff, talking about, oh, you ain't bad, or I ain't scared of you. And, you know, I'm like, Triana, just leave my house, please. Just leave my house. I'm begging her to leave my house, Your Honor. And she wouldn't leave. So she gave me no trouble but to call the police. And the police made her leave. And I showed the police the temporary custody paper. And because she was trying to take the kids too. And the police said, no, the kid's going to stay here with their dad since she signed over temporary custody of them. So I had to call the police on them because I'm not trying to do anything to her. I just want to see have my children. That's it.
Okay, but the question I asked was, you said she has the kids now. You said y'all have not had any communications. My question was, why have there been no communications between y'all?
Because she came and she stole the kids back. And I called the police on her again and told the police that the kids were with me. And she stole the kids and she went back to Georgia with the children. So after that, we just didn't come and say anymore because of what she did. You know, how you gonna give me custody of my children and then just come and take them back like that? And they was in school and everything.
So you're saying after all that time, you've only showed up at her house and contacted her that one time about trying to see your kids?
That's it. One time. That's it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Ma'am, you will have a chance to respond when we're done. Since you have the burden in this case, do you have any more specific questions you would like me to ask him at this point? Not testify, but just specific questions you want me to ask him.
My children, though. I got 3 children.
Okay, so do you have, hold on. So questions. Do you have any questions you want me to ask him at this point?
Questions for who? Him?
Yes. About what he testified to, that he's only come to your house once.
My whole thing was then a few summers ago, I was trying to be.
Now, this is not the time to testify, just a question. You'll have a chance to testify again when he's done presenting his case in rebuttal if you wish to, but do you have any question you want me to ask him? Any more questions? No questions?
I do have a question.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think about the right way to word because it's just been so much agitation from the things that I want to say and I can't get it out. Right.
Okay.
My children have been telling me that he had a gun around him and stuff like that. Do he allow weapons around my children like when he had them before?
So that's really going to be more appropriate for the legitimation and any custody determinations. But sir, she does have, since she has alleged there was a shooting, do you allow firearms around the children?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take a break for a minute because it looks like I might have to take some announcements. When we come back, sir, if there's any witnesses that you wish to present, you may call them. Please do not discuss any testimony with them. All right. Sir, do you have any questions for this witness? So we'll bring you back in when we're ready.
For me?
No. Mr. Hall, you may ask questions now. I can see her and hear her.
Okay, Ashley.
Uh-huh.
So, how many times did I go over Triana's house?
One time you had told me it was during Easter.
So hold on. So I'm going to have to say, she can't testify to how many times you've done something unless she was there. That's not a fair question.
What if I discussed it with her?
That's not.
Okay.
You can ask her how many times she is aware of you going there, but she cannot testify to something you did or did not do.
Okay, well, how many times are you aware since I moved to Georgia that I've been to Triana's house?
One time.
Okay, did you ever go to Triana's house?
Yeah, before I moved down, when I was moving my stuff here in April, I asked you about the kids, and because she never told me or never said that I wasn't welcome to her house, because I done stayed at her house and everything. And so while I was down here, I told you I wanted to go see the girls, and you told me you didn't want to go. So it was me and my nephew, because he helped me move my things here to Georgia. So me and him went by there. I knocked on the door. Somebody was there. Her van was there. And I heard the kids, and I was like, Triana, you there? And Triana, you there? And nothing. All of a sudden it got silent. So I'm like, okay, well, I called you and like, well, Brandon, nobody came to the door. So I said, I'm about to leave. When I was getting ready to leave, I seen a security office at the back of her door.
A security officer, like a police officer or something?
Yeah, like somebody that's patrolling, security over the property.
Okay. So that time that we had the kids when we was in Monroe, when she came to my house, and you was there, what happened when I had to call the police on her?
She was very aggressive. Y'all, it was mainly y'all wasn't able to sit down and talk about something so simple when it was dealing with my child and the kids, and it turned into something way bigger than that. Instead of y'all just sitting down and just being able to talk calmly, it didn't. Trying just went out crazy, and you called the police because you was trying to stop from, going her, y'all fight, anything. Instead, you called the police. I tried to calm her down. Her mom tried to calm her down. She wouldn't calm down, and she wanted to fight. And you had to call the police to put her out your house.
Okay. Are you aware that out of any other time than that one time that I've been to her house that I have tried to contact her, I've been to her house again?
No, I even asked you, have you reached out to her on Facebook? You said no, because you didn't want no problems. You was gonna wait until y'all go to court and settle the situation with the kids. Because I'm the one always asking, well, maybe you should reach out to her. Maybe you should do that. And you tells me no, you're not gonna reach out. You're gonna wait till you take it to court.
And are my kids afraid of me?
No.
Well, that's all I got.
Okay.
No further questions.
All right. Miss Sadler, you may unmute and ask this witness any questions you might have.
Okay. Is it okay if I have witnesses?
Yes, you can bring a witness. You can call a witness in rebuttal, but this point is to ask questions. Do you have any questions to ask of this witness?
That witness, okay. She said she didn't show up at my house. So who was that knocking on my window? I know I heard her voice.
She said her testimony was, hold on. Her testimony was that she and her nephew showed up at your house one time.
Okay, before all the things happened with before they went down, before I sent my children to the summer to Brandon, we were getting along. We were getting along, and they was here. Brandon and Ashley had came here. This is before. This is this last
So
year.
again, this isn't the time to testify. This is just to ask questions. If you have any questions about what she testified to,
Okay, well, they saying all these things, and it's all
you'll have a
jumbled.
chance to follow up. You'll have a chance to testify in a minute. In rebuttal, you'll have a chance.
Yeah.
But do you have any questions for her?
My thing is, why do they keep showing up if they say they have everything to lose? Why do they keep showing up and coming here to my house?
So, ma'am,
Well,
you heard her question. And can you answer it for me?
I'm gonna answer the question. The question, I only showed up to your house one time, and that was the time I was here to move my things. I wanted to see the girls. You never told me that I wasn't invited to your home, because if I wasn't invited, I would have never showed up. In spite of everything that been going on, you will still allow me, until you really got mad at Brandon. When you don't get your way, you blocked him, and then you just deleted me out. And it wasn't last year. I was just recently at your home this year, because when I brought all the girls, I talked Brandon to bringing all the girl stuff that he had. When you came and snatched the girls up, and without you just snatched them up, I talked Brandon. I said, Brandon, let's take these things down there so these girls can have. I brought you the toys, the clothes, the shoes in my truck. I had recently got, and that was in February.
So hold on, I'm going to ask a follow. I'm going to ask a follow-up question. You mentioned that she was mad and y'all were blocked. So why did you think you were invited to come to her house?
Well, because I told, I was
You're breaking up again, ma'am. Ma'am, you're breaking up again. Your
I
signal
end up
is not-
blocking her. Hold on. Wait.
Can
you hear me now?
them, Judge.
No, you're blocking up.
End up, but can you hear me now? Hold on. What about now?
That's better.
Okay. Because she, like, when Sharana does, this is the side when she needs something. She was aware that we was bringing the stuff there. After the situation that happened, when she cussed my daughter out, called her all kind of names because of something her daughter.
I cannot hear her.
Hold on. You're breaking, ma'am.
So I had nothing else.
You're breaking up again.
I cannot hear, Judge.
Hold on. That's better. Okay, so go ahead. So the question was, because it was very jumbled up during that time. If you said she blocked you and she was angry, why were you coming to her house? And you started talking about an incident.
She didn't block me.
Hold on. You started talking. Stop, please. You started talking about an incident in Louisiana between your children. How is that relevant to why you showed up at her house? If you were thinking that she was blocked and she was angry.
Well, she was angry with Brandon. I closed ties with her. I blocked her because it was a lot of nonsense that when she gets mad and she don't get her way, she just go out. She was cussing my daughter out. But in spite of that, those little girls don't have anything to do with it. In spite of everything that we all, even when we was into it, or we was just into it but fussing, we never stood between those girls. She done got mad at me plenty of times, and we still see the girls.
So before you showed up at her house that time in April, when's the last time, the previous time you saw her?
Well, I saw her, and it was in February when I took, and she even allowed us to get the girls. That was the last time since April. February when we took the girls to clothes, and
so hold on, you said she allowed
the girls with us.
Who did she allow to see the girls?
Me and Brandon.
Okay, so
in February.
Okay, at her house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So y'all showed up to her house in February.
Yes, I told her that I was bringing the kids' clothes because at that time I was technically still living in Monroe, but I came down here to Georgia for an interview. So when I came down for an interview, I talked to her on the phone, and I told her that we was gonna bring the girls' stuff because she was saying that the girls needed their clothes. So I told Brandon, let's just take everything that he had at his home that he had bought for the girls and take it to the girls because they needed it. And that was fine. She even allowed the kids, the girls, to leave with us. Even her daughter that not even here, she allowed her to go too.
Okay, so y'all were at her house then in February.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right, Miss Sadler, do you have any other questions for this witness? You need to unmute.
Okay, so they saying that they was at my house in February. They probably did show up, but this was when a period of time when they was not supposed to be showing up at my house. The time I'm talking about is last year. Last year, when all the stuff happened, hold on, I couldn't see the judge.
Hold on, so this is not the time, this is not the time to testify. This is the time, please stop shaking your head. This is the time to ask specific questions about what she testified to. You will have a minute to testify, but right now this is questions. She testified she came to your house in February.
Yes.
You have a question about that?
Huh?
You have a question about that?
My thing is they keep saying they ain't showing up at my house, but she telling you she been coming to my house.
That'll be a time for argument. I have noted that there are some discrepancies about who's been at whose house when. All right. So do you have any questions? So ma'am, there's been testimony that y'all have not showed up at her house except for once each. However, you just said y'all were both there in February.
Yeah,
how many times have you showed up at her house?
I wasn't
She
living
knew
in
it was
Georgia,
coming.
and she was
Sir,
aware.
this is not your time to talk.
Okay.
It is your turn, man. So there's been testimony that that different parties have only been at her house one time each. But you just testified y'all have been there in February.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you been at her house this year?
Well, February when we took her daughters, we bought the kids some shoes, and when I moved down here and I came to move my stuff in April in Georgia, that's when I completely moved to Georgia. Well, actually moved my stuff. I didn't completely move in May, but I moved my furniture and stuff in April. And when I came down, me and my nephew, I went by there to check on the girls.
Were you aware that she was angry and did not want you there?
No, she never. Cause she was angry. She was angry last year, but she allowed us to take his Brandon two little girls and her daughter that's not even Brandon with us in February.
I understand that. There's been testimony that you've showed up uninvited, and that Mr. Hall has shown up uninvited.
It wasn't uninvited because she knew I was coming.
How did she know you were coming?
Yeah, because in February I messaged her and I told her that we was gonna bring the girls' stuff to her.
Did you have any conversations with her after that?
No, I have. After I dropped it out, probably a few times after that, and then after the situation happened with her cussing my daughter out, she actually threatened my daughter. She threatened. I
understand that's not before the court at this point.
Well, it was in that when that happened, I had nothing else to say to her.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sir, any more questions for this witness?
You talking to me?
Yes.
So Ashley, in February, are you aware that Triana messaged you and said that the girls needed their stuff because they didn't have any clothes, because she did leave with all the girl stuff, and asking, could we, bring the girl stuff? And we told her, then we tell her, okay, we'll bring the girl stuff. And also when we did go there,
that's a question. Let her answer.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Because she actually messaged you and she messaged me. And I told her that we was coming down there. I didn't tell her what I was coming down there because it wasn't none of her business. But I did state to her that we was coming down there. And when we got there, we was worried about, she probably with her being mad was she going to let you get the girls. But when we went to take the clothes, when she knew we was coming, she let us take the girls and her other daughter. And overnight,
All right, sir, what's your next question?
That's all. I don't have no more questions.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other, so may this witness be excused? All right, ma'am, you're excused. Thank you. You may log off.
Thank you.
No more witnesses? You can't hear me?
I kept trying to unmute myself when you asked me a question the first time, but it's saying the host won't let participants
So
unmute.
it's okay. You're unmuted now. Can you tell me if you have
No,
any other
ma'am.
witnesses?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. So ma'am, since you have the burden in this case, you may tell the court, given everything you've heard, what do you want the court to know about what they have said about the allegations? Follow up.
Okay, they both of them are confusing me because the timeline seemed off. The timeline seemed way off to me. Because everything that they did last summer, that was last year. This year, I'm not sure when he moved here. It seemed like last year when they brought the clothes before I started having the TPO. And maybe I wasn't, that's before I had the TPO. But when I realized I needed to cut him off and them off, they were still showing up. Now she was saying February. They completely, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm trying to catch everything. That completely threw me off with the both of them. I know he showed up more than one time, and he showed up together. They keep saying that they didn't show up. My witnesses are the children.
Okay. Do you have any witnesses that you would like to testify at this time?
Any witnesses that I would like to testify at this time? My children can be witnesses. My mother.
So are they available?
They're not here right now. They're at school.
Okay. All right.
My mother can be a witness.
So are any of these witnesses available now?
My mother, she probably available, and his mother might be available too.
So what did your mother witness?
My mother witnessed. She knows that he been coming back and forth over here.
Has she been there when that's happened?
No, she haven't been here when it's happened, but she knows. The only witnesses I really have is my children. Like they be with me all the time, so they know that Ashley and Brandon.
I say so.
But my mother, she really just knows, the stuff that's been happening. But I can't bring her as a witness to say she's been here and she's seen them, because that's what you're looking for.
Were your children in the home and heard the voices of Mr. Hall and Miss Owens when they were banging on the door?
Say that again.
Were your children in the home when you say that Mr. Owens and Miss Owens and Mr. Hall were both there banging on the door?
Yes, they was home. All three of them was home. It was they was home.
You said at one point one of them was knocking on the window. Who was knocking on the window?
I don't know who it was. I didn't see, but I could hear them knocking on the window. They knock on the kids' window, and they knock on my front door, and they knocked on this window right here.
And what voices did you hear?
What voices did I hear?
Mm-hmm.
I heard Ashley and Brandon. I knew who it was because I could see out the people.
So you saw out the people? Yeah,
and I opened the door. I saw them a few times.
You opened the door? What did you say to them when you opened the door?
I opened, what did I say to them when I opened the door? At one time, my boyfriend, he was here. I wasn't really the one talking.
So did your boyfriend let them?
Huh?
Did your boyfriend invite them there?
No, I don't think he invited. Like, he was talking to Brandon on text message, so I don't think he invited them there. But he was trying to protect me because he know how Brandon is. He didn't came to the door and open the door a few times, unknowingly that I'm not wanting them here and wanting them in. He didn't open it. But one time, he came here and he knocked on my door and I opened the door and he was like, I want to see my kids and I want to take my kids to buy some shoes for the past year. And he even took my boyfriend since we had the TPO and told him, can you give me those shoe sizes? I want to buy them some shoes. And I think he did that because he don't want to be on child support and he want to show the receipt. he always try to keep them receipts so he can show them and say, look, I be doing stuff for my children, but he doesn't do stuff consistently for the children.
So let me ask you this. So since this order's been in place, he's texted your boyfriend for the children's shoe sizes?
Say that again?
Since this order has been in place, he has texted your boyfriend regarding the children?
Yes, ma'am, he has. Brandon Hall have texted him.
No, I have not. No, I
Okay.
have
Yes, you
not.
have. I
Sir,
sent the text
we're not going
myself.
back and forth.
I
All
tend to text myself. I can actually get him as a witness. I can try to see if I can get him as a witness to testify that he been texting Brandon Hall, trying to get Brandon, so Brandon could do stuff behind my back.
All right, we're going to take a 5-minute recess to give you an opportunity to forward this Zoom link if you have any more witnesses. Otherwise, I'm going to review the evidence and make a ruling. Okay?
Are the children allowed to testify?
Only if they're there.
Well, they're not here. Could we do it later when they come?
Not at this minute. Sir,
Well-
what's going on with you right now? Where are you at?
Huh?
Hold on, I'm talking to him.
Your Honor.
Yes. So my
won't
first
you get-
question is, where are
Can-
you at?
Can you get his cell phone records? Because I haven't texted him since
No,
I've been
I'm not
served.
getting anybody's cell phone records. Hold on. If she has a witness, she can call a witness, but I'm taking a 5-minute break. If there's no witness, I'm going to make a decision. Remember, I'm making this as a temporary on preponderance standard. Sir, what house, are you at a place where you're,
I'm at my house.
okay. I was just double checking that you weren't at a doctor's appointment. I couldn't tell what was going on. All right. So we're taking a 5-minute recess. Ma'am, if you have any witnesses, they need to join in the next 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
At this point, we are continuing this hearing. Ms. Sadler, do you have any other witnesses you wish to present in rebuttal?
Yes, his name is Ronald Freeman. I'm not sure how to connect him. How do I do that? We
Is
didn't
he
talk
there
about
with
that.
you? Is he at the house with
No,
you?
he's not with me. He have to be on the phone.
So
Like
you need to
Ashley.
forward him, the Zoom link.
Okay.
This is position 9 on the calendar. Ms. Sadler, has your witness joined?
No, he's not on yet.
Okay,
He's still-
so I'm just gonna proceed at this point. I've heard a lot of testimony from both sides. Again, if I find that there's been, by preponderance of the evidence, one act of family violence in the past, and that given the testimony, is there a reasonable likelihood of future acts without this order?
Can you slow down a little bit? I can't understand.
I will slow down a little bit. I'm making an announcement.
Okay.
All right. So just one moment.
One moment, Judge. What is your witness name? Is it Nolan White by chance? Miss Sadler? Miss Sadler, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can't see you though. I can't
So
reach
I'm
up.
sorry.
So they asked if your witness is Nolan White.
Let me see. It's a join breakout room. Not now. Okay, say that again.
Is your witness name Nolan White?
He's using that phone, so that's
Okay, so
gonna
I
be
do
him.
have a Nolan White here. He
Okay,
just logged in.
that's probably gonna be Ronald Freeman because he had a hard time trying to connect his phone to Zoom.
Is this your witness, ma'am?
Okay, that's
I'm sorry, can you unmute yourself, Mr. White?
yeah.
Excuse me 1 second. This is Nolan White. I'm a case.
Oh, sorry.
That's him. That's him. He's with.
Hold
He's
on. Let's
what-
unmute him. I think he got muted.
Yeah, he did.
Let me call. Okay, so my name is Nolan White. I'm with 2100 Men's Shelter. I have a client here that said he needed to be in this video conference, so I let him use my office.
That's him.
That's Miss
Wait.
Sadler's.
Who is
Wow,
the
no,
person
Please
that-
scoot up, please. Hold on
Wait,
one
Miss
second. Give me 1
Sadler,
second.
give me one moment, Miss
Hold on
Sadler.
one
Let me
second.
figure out what's going on. Mr. White, who is the person that's with you, and can you please put him on camera?
It's Ronald Freeman.
Okay, so it is Miss Sadler's witness.
Can you switch
Today,
seats?
this is Nolan. How you doing? Go ahead and sit by
Mr.
the
Freeman, can you come into the camera?
Hello?
chair.
All right. All
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
sir. All right, Mr. Freeman. Do you know Miss Sadler, Triana Sadler?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know her?
Well, I stayed with her for almost a year.
Do you know Brandon Hall?
I know of him, yeah.
Okay, so
Have you seen him?
Yeah, I've seen him about like 2 times, really about 3, because I seen him one time.
Freeman, you don't gotta talk so loud, man.
I seen him one time outside of the house, and I seen him like about 2 other times through the window.
Was that this year?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you see him through the window?
That was,
And then I got another one
I think
also.
that was
I
like
just gotta make contact with
from the
one.
winter time going into the springtime or something, because he had came over there twice, and he had a girl with him, and they was like banging on the window, and he had tore Triana's plants up on the porch. But he had came over there once before that, and he said he wanted to see the children, and it was like a really bad, tense moment, and they seen him, but when he left, they said they didn't want to see him because they were scared, but they didn't know what to do. So he had brought them some clothes and stuff. That was the first time I seen him, and then after that, he had came over there a couple of times, and they was banging on the window in the front and banging on the door and the windows in the back. So it was
On
like
those days, did you let them in?
no. The first time he came over there, I opened the door because I didn't know what was going on. But after that, after Triana explained to me what was going on, I didn't never open the door again. And the police came too, and they were over there because I was scared for the children and her. So, it was a mess.
When you say her plants were messed up, can you describe how they looked before and after?
Yeah, they were regular plants. I think they were like rose bushes. And when he was out there after he left, they had ripped all of the tops of the plants off, and they had threw them everywhere. And so he messed up her plants.
Did y'all clean that up?
Yes, ma'am. After we knew he was gone, we went out there and cleaned it up.
All right. Ma'am, do you have any questions for this witness? Yes.
So you remember seeing Ashley, the girl, come with him to my apartment, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but not only seeing her, I heard her through the door, and I don't, she was like telling Brandon, I don't think nobody's home or something like that, because I was standing away from the window because I didn't want them to see me. So I heard her voice, and she was there.
So they came more than one time this year, correct?
Yes.
It was both of them together, not her by herself.
No, it was both of them together. That's why I slipped out the window when I was peeping out the window, and they was banging on the door. I heard her talking to him, and I heard her saying, I don't think anybody's home. So she was over there with him.
Okay, so the first time, the door was opened by you, and I was telling him I didn't want him coming over here. Do you remember me telling him that I didn't want him coming to this house?
Yes, you did. I remember you told him that because I was standing right there, and it was like a tense little short argument type thing, but you did tell him that you didn't want him coming to your house.
And he came back anyway?
Yeah, he came back. Since then, he had came back like twice that I remember.
Okay. That's all. That's all. I'm trying to...
Thank you. All right. Mr. Hall, do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So Ronald, I just want to confirm my phone records that I'm looking at. When was the last time we text about the girls, the shoes? What was the date? Can you confirm the date with me?
No, because I took it off of my phone. I don't leave stuff like that on my phone. I took it off my phone. I erased it off of there. But the last time you text me, you asked me to send you their clothes size and their shoe size, and you said that you was gonna bring the stuff to the courtroom. So I don't know what that was about, because you didn't say you was bringing it to the house. You said you would bring it to the court.
Oh, so since I was bringing it to the court, I knew not to come to the house, right?
No, I know what you was bringing it to the court for, Brandon. I mean, do you want to hear why you was bringing it to the court? Because you was trying to show the judge now that you was doing these things for these children. And I mean, if you really want my opinion, because
that wasn't the
Okay,
question.
so hold on. Here's the thing: that
I'm asking
whether
the
he was bringing something to the court or not is a matter for the legitimation case. It's not really relevant, except for if that request could have been a violation of an existing order in place about no contact.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So that's how it might be relevant.
Yes, ma'am.
So, sir, he says he doesn't have it on his phone, but he testified about what that last communication was.
Okay, well, mine say June the 7th, so I just wanted to confirm that. That's all.
Okay.
And I was served in July, so June the 7th was the last time we text.
Okay. So noted.
Also as I'm looking at my phone too, on May the 28th, did you call me and tell me a lot of things which I have recorded, that Triana was, calling the police on me. Triana was trying to turn my kids against me, and what she was doing to me, the type of stuff that you, which I got it recorded, but I just want you to confirm with me. Did you call me on May 28th out the blue and I didn't even know who you were?
No, we talked out of the blue. You called me.
No,
and I did tell you that she had called the police on you because she didn't want you there. and I was telling you, was asking me about the things that was going on in the house, and I was telling you from my viewpoint what was going on in the house, and that's what that call was about to me.
Well, then you called my phone. I didn't know your number, and you said, "Please don't hang up. This is Ronald Triana's boyfriend."
No, I gave you my number when I came out to the car after you was in the house that day, and I walked to the car with you, and I told you if you had anything that you wanted to talk about, I said you could call me. I told you I'll talk to you because she wouldn't talk to you. I don't know what y'all was going through because I'm a visitor up there. And
Well, let me confirm. So the day I came with those Easter baskets, then when you opened the door, then I just stand on side of the door. I didn't come in, right?
because because I was standing there, she was scared of you coming in, and I was standing in the doorway. I wasn't going to let you come in.
But you just said I was in the house.
I didn't say you was in the house. When did I just say that you was in the house?
You just said after you left out the house and you went to the car, you just said I was in the house.
Well, you was
That's
on
what
the
you
porch.
just
If I
said.
said I was in the house, that wasn't because you was on the porch. You didn't come in, but you was on the porch and the door was open and you wanted the girls to come out and you was like hugging them. But after you left, they was like, they wasn't comfortable with you being there. And they let us know that they wasn't comfortable with you being. That's when I walked you to the car because Triana had locked the door. And I walked you to the car and I was talking to you while I was walking you to the car. And
So let me confirm. I'm gonna ask you another question. So once I left talking to the girls, which you didn't walk me to the car, but when I left talking to the girls, and as I was walking, you said, "Hold up, youngster." You came and met me didn't you come and meet me in the road and said you was gonna talk to Triana about letting me see my children?
No, we walked to the car and I told you I was gonna talk to her and see if she would let you see them because I don't know what to say. I just come down there. Y'all been going through this since before I came down there. When I came down there, I was in the middle of this and I walked you to the car and I was like, I don't know what's going on. I said, but if that's what you're trying to do, see your children, I said, I'm gonna just ask her. But I didn't ask her about it after they told me what was going on with you and her. I didn't ask her anything. I didn't say anything to her about that.
Okay, so you saying you didn't know when you said that you were going to talk to her about me seeing my children, but at the time when you staying with her, so if you were staying with her, when you have known if she didn't want me there, when she have told you?
No, we had a conversation about what your past was like with her. Everything that I got from the conversation, Brandon, was all bad. I mean, if you put it out there, you know, she told me when you stabbed her in the hand. Even Lori told me that you had beat her up a few times. And Lori said that her mom had told her to turn her face around because her mom didn't want to see what y'all was going through. And she said you had beat her up and you took her money from her. She told me a lot of things. You want to know that she told me all of that. That was before I came there. What was I supposed to think? I don't know what's going on. You know, but I know that those children didn't want to see you. Okay. They said they were scared of you.
Okay.
Well, I already confirmed with my witness that my children are scared.
So this isn't the time. This is not the time to argue, or this is the time just to ask questions.
Okay, so.
And if he doesn't give you an answer you like, you don't get to keep asking the same question. You can make you can make an argument at some point, but.
So you're telling me on May the 28th, which I have the recording, I will submit the recording. You know, this is a courtroom. You tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So if I submit this, go up to the courthouse and submit these recordings on his phone, which you telling me all these things, but you telling me something different now. So what is the truth about you saying that you was going to talk to her for let me see the kids, and how when I came that I didn't seem like I was a threat, that I was a good guy, that was a totally different, I'm a totally different person than she described that I was. Didn't you say that when
I told you that you didn't seem like you was the violent person that you said you was and stuff. I told you seemed like you was kind of laid back, but I don't know what your personality is and stuff. So that's what I told her. I said, I don't see that in you and stuff. But then when Lori, here go a child telling me the things that she told me, and that changed my whole concept of what you was like. Because I was like, wow, for real?
So I got one more question. So on the phone call, when you called me on May the 28th, did you tell me that Triana was putting things in my daughter's head, talking about your daddy ain't this, your daddy ain't that?
No.
So you didn't say that?
No.
Okay.
So take the recording to court.
Okay, I will. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. So that sort of thing. So there's a couple of things. Okay. Thank you, sir. You're excused.
Okay. Thank you.
You done?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chief.
All right. So some of the stuff that's been discussed in this hearing goes to co-parenting, which is only in process if and when a respondent has legitimated the child. Okay. So co-parenting, isolation, things like that are things that should be addressed in a legitimation proceeding. What's before the court now is whether there have been by preponderance of the evidence, anything shown that there have been acts of family violence committed in the past, and there's a reasonable likelihood of future acts without this order being in place. I find there has been, by preponderance of the evidence, at least minimal acts of family violence that have occurred. I've heard evidence of both parties. This sounds like an extremely volatile situation. I've heard evidence of both parties calling the police on the other, of allegations of violence towards both parties, that leads me to believe, for now, that this order does need to be in place until there are future orders regarding the parties and the children. So at this point, I am going to enter this order. Now, before I go through the terms of the order, I need to make it clear that nothing in this order precludes or prohibits a father from pursuing the legitimation action. Any future order in that legitimation action will supersede anything in this order to the contrary when that order comes out. For now, since there is no final order in the legitimation case, the only person who has physical custody and legal custody of the child is the mother. If that changes in the future, as far as the legitimation case goes, then any terms of this order will be superseded by that order. Okay? So for this order, just one moment. All right. The respondent for now is, and this order will be in effect for today, from today through August 9th of 2024, when it will expire naturally. But like I said, any terms in the legitimation order that happen during that time, if there's a future order, will supersede anything in this order, as far as it goes to the things addressed in the legitimation case. Okay? The respondent is to stay away from the petitioner and her minor children's residence, school, and workplace, and any future residence, school, and workplace. Not come within 100 yards of her and the minor children, and not have any contact directly or indirectly or through other parties with the petitioner in this case. The petitioner has sole legal and physical custody at this time under Georgia law, and the respondent is not to interfere with that custody. Just one moment. Additionally, the respondent will attend the Family Violence Intervention Program. That first virtual court date will be September 8th of 2023 at 9 a.m. And the compliance officer, when we're done, will meet with you to give you information on that and how to get started on those courses. And while this order is in effect, the respondent is prohibited from possessing or owning a firearm under federal law. So that's going to be the court's order at this time by preponderance of the evidence based on everything that I've heard today. And like I said, the legitimation order may modify this order in the future as it progresses. But for now, this is the court order. So ma'am, you should get a copy emailed to you, sir. If you don't get a copy, Mr. Ellis will probably talk with you about how to do that. If you don't get a copy, you can reach out to the clerk's office in the next day or so at the number on your notice to get a copy. And we will place you in a breakout room. Once you have met with Mr. Ellis and exchanged information, then you are free to log off after that. Okay. Thank you both for your